Hi, matey. Hey, this is Grandpa. Remember we finished at Christmas? We talked about all the things I had played with, and I mentioned we played cops and robbers, and we played also cowboys and Indians in the summer. We did that in the summer. After Christmas was over, we played outside a lot. But I don't really play cowboys or Indians now because they'd say use racist. The one thing we did, we played pirates. We made our own swords and eye patches and hats. There was a way in which you folded a newspaper and it came out to be a good pirate's hat. Well, I can't remember that at all. So I just took and made up one, kind of had the scotch tape it together, and we blackened our teeth, believe it or not sometimes, with tar. Or I think there was some kind of a candy that had a kind of a waxy thing black. So we played pirates. What we would do, we would draw a circle, a good sized circle, and your opponent was on one side and he was on the other, and you didn't try to hurt them. You didn't try that. But you fought and tried to drive them back over the line. And, excuse me, this is falling down, so let's just get rid of this. There we are. Now that looks more like me, I guess. So we try to drive them back over the line. If they stepped over the line, you won the contest. You didn't try to hurt them, but you tried to force them by force over, or you draw two lines and draw them back over their line, and you would win. One thing that we did was a lot of fun. Old yellow tablets was we used back then. This is kind of old. And what we do, we take a page of the old tablet, and we would make a treasure map. And we would start out and so many paces from this tree to that tree or to this rock, and zigzag back and forth until X is where the treasure was buried. What was buried there was we had taken like a box, and we would get little trinkets and beads and 2 or 3 coins or something, and we'd wrap it really good, and we would bury it, and we would draw a map as we did it, and then we would try to cause the other side, or whoever you're playing with, a couple guys or whatever, trying to stump them on where the treasure was at. And we would go, and they would get close sometimes because our maps weren't exactly that accurate, but we used to like to think that we played that these were a map that you found all rolled up someplace, and it was to a great giant treasure. So we enjoyed playing with the pirates. I haven't seen a kid play pirates for decades. Everything is on computer anymore. Everything is on those type of games. Taking that in mind, let me bring you up to date here more now. Last fall, probably October, I guess it was, or September, was that Sheila and Randy came down with their metal detectors, and we were going to find any treasure in the backyard. Well, we knew what we were after. We really did. I'll explain. Shelley couldn't come because she was sick at the time. But what we were after was a diamond. And I'm serious. We were after a diamond. Back after I had served 35 years at Hobart, and it's recorded on this watch here, 35 years of service, they gave me this watch. It's a really good watch, and it's worked all the years till just 2 years ago, and I had to put it in the drawer. I'm hanging on to it because it's engraved with my name on it and the date and everything, 35 years of service. On the band, now this is not the original band, but on the band, the metal band, was a round piece of gold-plated. This is all supposed to be gold-plated, except this cheap band now. Gold-plated, and in the center of this little plate was a diamond. Well, after I retired, I've been retired now, hard to believe, 26 years next month. It was a year after I retired, so we're going back 25 years. I was out in the front. I was replacing some stone and putting that cottage stone and different things and carrying big chunks of whatever stone or cement back to the alley. I would carry them back and put them down there because I was going to get rid of them. There was quite a pretty good pile of them. Sometime during carrying those back, and I would carry them back, they were heavy. Apparently at one point when I left one down, it probably got a hold or somehow pried off that little plate with the diamond. And I assume behind the shed, where you know my shed is at, there's about 4 feet, maybe 5'4", between the alley and the shed, a grassy area. So I was telling Sheila and Shelley and Randy about it, and I said, you know, I know it's out there somewhere. Never was able to find it. So they came down and we went treasure hunting. We was going to find, the metal plate, the little gold plate, it would detect that, and then there would be the diamond. So we looked and we looked and we looked. And here's all the junk that we found, nails and pieces, I don't know, that's whatever it is. There's just a lot of things. But the most interesting thing we found was, where did it go? Oh, here it is. Most interesting thing, we found these 2 keys on a hinge. And I kept thinking, why is that? Well, there used to be an old shed back there that would house a Model T Ford. And apparently what they did, when they used this hinge, they needed a shim or a washer behind it, didn't have it, so they had some old keys, and I figured it out. Put an old key behind there so that it would take up the space. But the 2 keys were the most, never found the diamond, and that's okay, it's out there. It could have fallen off into the garden too, but you know, that's the past. That's of the past. All right, let's go to a third thing. I want to go to a story. The story is told of a gentleman, a dad, who had a son. And the son entered high school, and from the time he entered high school, his dad told him that when he graduated, he would get a car. He would get a car. The years passed. He was a freshman, then he was a sophomore, then he was a junior, and the excitement built within him, and he got into his senior year, and he could begin to imagine just what it would be like with this new car, to drive this new car. He got excited about it. And so came graduation day, and his dad handed him, instead of a car, handed him this Bible. And he took the Bible, and he was so upset and so mad because he wanted a car. He just put it in the dresser drawer, packed his clothes, and left home. Never came back for many years. His dad passed away, and he went to the room where he put where was his room, and the Bible was still in the drawer, still in the sleeve in which it was purchased. And he thought, well, I'll just look at it. So he took the sleeve off, and he just was flipping through, and as he flipped through, lo and behold, there was a check for a new car. There, still there. He had never received the gift. He never opened the Bible. He never got the treasure. It was his all the time. I'd like to say this. We were talking about pirates, and we were talking about treasures out and back and a diamond and so forth. Opening God's Word and searching it, reading it, will be better than any check you find in it. It will be God's Word. It will be truth. It will change your life. And it will give you purpose. So open up God's Word. It's a huge treasure. There's one thing about it. This year of 2023, you're going to find that rainbow is for promises. Promise, that God gave Noah no more flood of the earth. You're going to find promises in the scriptures that will fit you during the year, like Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Do not lean to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. God bless you till the next time. So go treasure hunting in God's Word. That's what I would recommend from all the years that I've lived.